Right now we're going to talk about McKinney High girls soccer, and I'm joined by one of my personal favorite guests on the show, Alex Pantarotto. And Coach, thanks again for joining.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
This is the big 2-0, as we were saying earlier, your 20th season as head coach of the McKinney Lions. What are some of the memories you've had of 20 years of coaching this team? And it's gone by fast for you, hasn't it?
Yes, very fast. I think I am so proud to say that these 2-0 are very special to me because, like you said, it brings a lot of memories. It brings a lot of kids that you have as a coach impacted them and in a positive way, and some of them are very successful. We didn't talk before this recording, but Amanda Frisbee, who was a player for McKinney High School, just signed with Seattle. She was in the draft. She was picked number 7. So we have our first pro player coming out of McKinney on the girls' side.
That's cool. And Seattle's a good team from what I've heard in the pro league as well. So a good situation for her to go into. Looking ahead to this year, obviously last year you had a good playoff run, won your first 2 rounds, and then lost to Saxe 1-0 in that regional quarterfinal. For your players that have come back from that team, I know you have a really young team, but what sort of experience did they take coming from that result into this year?
Well, one thing they learn is that they have to play very hard in order for them to come on top. And we haven't had a lot of success up front. And in terms of the amount of goals, if you notice, most of our scores are 1-0, 2-1. So we play a very strong defense, and then we try to sneak one by you and see if we can keep it. It has been a good strategy so far, and I think we build out of that and see if we can get more flow into the game. That's what we need.
Right now you have a 3-2-2 record, 3 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses. And we'll go ahead and take a look at some of your highlights from a few of your games that you've had so far this year. And you had the Frisco ISD tournament where you played some good competition. You also had a couple non-district games lately. This is a goal against Frisco Wakeland. You scored late in the game.
Yes. Actually, Mike Brock told me that most of the teams that we played, they were all in the last 2 years, they were in the state finals or semifinals. So I was very proud to play these games because we need tough competition in order for us to be competitive in our district. But at the same time, that Frisco tournament always takes a toll on us, and so we're now trying to recuperate a couple of players that are struggling with some injuries, and I don't know. Well, I hope I get him back by the beginning of district play.
We're seeing you score the goals in these highlights. What do you like that your players are doing well so far this season?
Well, I have a great group of girls. Okay, I just love them to death, and I think because we're very young, I think. We have a lot of enthusiasm going into the games, and we run hard and we play hard. So the part that I'm working right now is that flow that we're talking about in order for us to possess the ball a little bit more. But we're very explosive up front, so that's something that we haven't had in a while, and I just love the way they're playing.
Who are some of the specific players that you thought have played so far this year pretty well?
Well, one of them is sophomore Alyssa Garner. I think I put a nickname on her called the Pulpo. Pulpo is an octopus in Spanish, and I call her a Pulpo because she really works very hard and trying to get the ball back, steal the ball back, and it's like she has 8 legs trying to go for the ball. So that's the reason I picked that nickname. But also our right back, Jada Holmes, it's an extremely talented lady, and let me say something that I think makes me proud, not only as a coach but as a teacher. All of these players, they excel in school, and to me, it's so easy to go coach people that do well in school versus people that don't do well in school. And all of them are doing superb in school. I mean, they just get good grades, and I'm very proud of all of them.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I know a lot of coaches are more proud sometimes of their players that make the all-academic team rather than necessarily the all-district team as far as sports go. Looking ahead at your schedule, you have still a couple more non-district games. You have Mesquite and Corsicana on the schedule, but then you get into district play, and it's once again a tough district. Plano West won the state title last year. They'll have a good group presumably again, and Allen was good last year. Boyd's gone off to a really fast start. What do you see as really your concentration when you get into district about trying to scrape some of these points from these games?
Well, to us, our concentration is mainly on Plano East, on Plano, and hopefully against Allen. We know that Boyd is a step ahead of us in terms of amount of players and quality, and then of course 2 state tournaments for Plano West, and they're loaded there too. So we take one game at a time. We try to do the best we can in each one of them, and every game is a battle. So every game we'll see different personnel on the field to try to match up to those teams. But I predict that Boyd is going to beat Plano West this year.
Oh, so you think there's going to be a little bit of a changing of the guard on top of the district?
Yeah, I really think so. I think Megan has done a tremendous job with the girls, and it's reflected on the scores that you've seen so far for boys. So.
I know that from some of the players you have from last year's team that have come back, I know Devin Prince was very good late in the season for you, scoring some goals, and Morgan Ford as well. And I know you have some injuries on the team as well, but do you think some of the young players, their experience last year in district, how do you think they'll get better this year when they face the same sort of players once more?
Yeah, Morgan Ford was a very important player for us because she can play in all different positions. This year she's playing sweeper for us, and she's showing a lot of composure. She's a super athlete and a super nice kid. So I really see that she's going to be one of the most important players for us this year. I also think that we are going to need a couple of more players to step in to help us out. Of course, Devon has a very strong shot, and that's what we use her for. And hopefully, she will score a couple of goals that mean a game for us, and meaning 3 points. You know.
I was going some Christmas shopping, this past year, and I walk into an Academy Sports store, and I see this life-size poster of Sydney LaRue of the U.S. Women's National Soccer Team, and you have her and Alex Morgan and Abby Wambach. They're so prominent now after the success the United States Women's Team has had, and these girls, they're so heavily influenced by them. They're sort of the people they look up to and want to be like. Have you noticed that sort of influence from the national team success going on to the high school players?
Yes, of course. And in fact, we had a game scheduled for next Friday, for this coming Friday, where the national team is playing Canada here at the FC Dallas Stadium. And I had to move the game because the girls wanted to go and watch the national team, so that's what we did. We moved the game so they can go and watch the national team play here in Dallas.
That's a cool thing to do, to let them be able to experience that.
Of course, and that's what it was missing from the girls' side. Guys, you see all these kids wearing Messi jerseys and Ronaldo jerseys, but on the girls' side, there's not that much popularity. But I think things are changing, and they're changing for good.
Well, Coach, you're off to another good start this season, and know that your team, last year you got it done in the district. I'm looking forward to seeing if you guys can get it done again. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you very much for having me.
McKinney off to a 3-2-2 start this year. They were able to grab 4th in District 10 5A last year, and they made it 3 rounds deep in the playoffs, so look to have some similar success later this year. A big thanks goes out to Megan Wilson, Lance Lovell, and Alex Pantarotto for joining us on the program today. We'll keep the ball rolling with more soccer on next week's show, as we take a look at the boys' soccer season so far. Super Bowl 48 is approaching on Sunday. Last year on Sports Talk, I correctly predicted a Baltimore win, So it's time to make another winning prediction. Seattle has been the team to beat all year long, and I'll stay with the Seahawks 27-20 over the Denver Broncos. From all of us here at Sports Talk, I'm Tyler Sloan. Have a great week.